All right. We are live in our Facebook feed. We are live on YouTube, and this is the DCLanders discussion of Outlander Season 2, Episode 212, The Hail Mary. Basically, this episode, I don't know, I felt like they jammed so much into it that I was just kind of...
Yeah. They did tie up, I felt that they tied up a couple of loose ends, which was good. They did them well without you going, oh, really? But there was so much crammed in, and I'm going to get right on the bandwagon here is I have to agree with a bunch of the stuff that I'm reading is that I kind of miss the intimacy of Claire and Jamie. Right, I mean, we're on the 12th episode, and it was just, it's like I'm getting the feeling like the boys are in it for, like, playing tin soldier, you know?
Yeah.
I feel the romance has disappeared this season.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I agree.
Well, part of it was built into leftover issues from last season because of the way they ended last season.
Yeah.
So that they had to completely rework the beginning of this season, which made it differ from the book. Because in the book, they had done all of the recovery and reconnecting at the end of book 1.
Yeah.
So that by the time they got to Paris, they were kind of back on
they were healed.
Fairly normal relationship footing.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Because we basically got all of that healing from the end of book 1 in Paris.
Right.
Which,
yeah, and you didn't really have it.
Took a lot. took a lot of the romance out of Paris. That part.
Yeah, and I mean, I would have had trouble with them moving Jamie along too fast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That was a good
choice. Along too fast.
Yeah.
So I never really had huge issues with the way they handled their relationship at the beginning there in Paris, because I kind of felt like they, to try and stay true and emotionally true to the situation, I was okay with them kind of, putting things off. But I did expect once they reconnected emotionally and physically in Paris, I was expecting a little bit more, but then everything has been frantic.
Right.
Yeah.
And when we could have gotten a whole bunch of connection was that 8-9 months they supposedly spent at Lollybrock.
Right.
That we didn't get.
We got a 90-second montage, not even really a montage, just a 90-second voiceover at the beginning of that episode telling us they've been at Lollybrock for a long time.
Yeah.
So we didn't actually get to
We got that and a hug. We got a hug.
Oh yeah, and a
We
little,
got a hug and a toss, and that was
a
it.
little peck on the cheek, I mean, come on, he could be dying, at Culloden, and this is what we get.
But see, and I'm not one for gratuitous sex, so from
me
that point of view, I'm good. But yeah, I'm missing something. There should have been some more intimate time with them that we could have seen, and I agree with that.
I have never felt that the sex in Outlander has been gratuitous.
Oh no, I wouldn't want it just because we need to throw a sex scene in here. I wouldn't want
the sex sake.
No.
Yeah.
No, but that's a big part of their connection,
Right.
And I just, I could have.
We'll see how well they make it up next year.
Oh, they better. Hey, we're all right now. We're all gonna. Protest, and believe me, I don't post usually I don't post to Ron, or I don't post anything to Diana, but man, if they short us on them together before she goes back through the stones, I am gonna raise holy fucking hell.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they're gonna play that out next week as far as the rest of it, because all they showed us was the Scotland stuff, the old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you though as far as the intimacy. I know in my head, being a book reader, that it's there. It's just
but you're not seeing it. And for the people that tuned in last year and are used to this whole relationship, and then they come on this year and they're like, what the hell happened to it?
Yeah. What happened to
Talk about the honeymoon being over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
with war.
Yeah, it's like.
And you're right about it being frantic, because when you watch it, it's like, oh, I got to go here. Okay, well, I got to go over here. You know, and everybody is.
Yeah. And I got to do this. And oh my God, I just ran for my life from the soldiers, but I've got to go to Inverness and stock my medical supplies.
Now I have to actually explain why all of a sudden that Mary was with us at the end of last show, but today she's not, and I didn't know where she was.
Right, and then all of a sudden she shows back up here.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking. There was a 3-month time span.
Yeah, she does kind of gather that.
The end of Vengeance is Mine and the beginning of this.
Right.
Yeah.
She does kind of say that, Claire does, she talks about Falkirk and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah.
Because they glossed right over the fact of the Battle of Falkirk. They'd won Preston Pans and then they'd won Falkirk.
Yeah.
And I don't have the dates in my head for Falkirk, but I know it's, weeks.
Yeah, weeks before,
Yeah.
So, and the Alex Mary story in the book packed such an emotional punch for me.
Yeah, and this one did
I cried every time he died in the book.
Yeah.
But because they had to condense it so much, I didn't connect with their story at all.
No, I didn't either. And you know what? I'm going to get to the thing I hated the most of this episode, and I think a lot of us are on the same page, is why the hell did they have him beat his just dead brother?
They didn't have him. He chose to do that.
I know. He did?
Yep.
But I kind of see
the bias thing.
In defense of the showrunners for allowing it, I see the difference because they obviously did a bookended of two brothers dying.
Yeah.
There's Dougal, who's been like a total asshole, just like Blackjack on some level, and yet here he is crying, laying on his brother's chest. His brother died and left him, and then the other one who also loves his brother, but he's a psycho.
Well, see, for me,
on a dead body.
What it did for me was. It was the fact that Blackjack is unable to express emotion except in violence.
Right.
That
is the only way he can express emotion. I mean, he had a little bit...
punch the wall, not his brother. I thought that was ridiculous. I mean, seriously, if you read into at least the way I felt about it, is that, reading the books and everything and seeing it, that was the one thing that was normal in his life.
Right. It was
his brother.
Right.
Was it?
Well,
I mean, the two of them it actually may have been, but in his head, was it? Because didn't we have that whole scene in Wentworth where he called Jamie Alex and...
Did they show that here?
No.
Yeah.
Wasn't. It's in the book.
No.
But yeah. But I think... I don't know. I think that he is such a vile character that if he's going to stand there and whip a man for 200 lashes and practically kill him, I mean, I'm not surprised that he pounded on a dead body, even if it is his brother's dead body.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a weird thing to do. Very Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I think it was Game of Thrones hangover for him.
Yeah, it might be his problem,
Although his character in Game of Thrones isn't like that.
No, I know. I'm just saying Game of Thrones is so bizarre with some of the stuff they do.
Yeah, but I just finished watching that, and that was one of the best season finales, I swear. But anyhow, I will agree to disagree. I didn't like it. I didn't see it happening.
Oh, I didn't say I liked it, but I mean, I could.
Yeah.
In my head, what I was seeing was somebody who was emotionally stunted and, again, not able to express any kind of emotion except through violence.
But then again, if that's the case, why would Alex have entrusted Mary to him?
Well, doesn't Alex say he knows that...
He was appealing to what he knew was a better nature.
Right. His better nature, because he knows his better nature and he sees it. That's why I was like...
I don't know. Sometimes I think people see what they want to see.
Yeah.
You know, this is his big brother. Although in the book there was an older brother.
Right, the oldest brother. That's the
oldest brother who actually was inheriting whatever.
Yeah, the titles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Property and all that. That's why the second brother was in the military and the third
the
brother
other one was in service. Yeah, was in service. Yeah.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know.
But you know, it's one of those things where a little brother who idolizes an older brother and will only see the good in him, even though he said he did acknowledge and did know that he had a darker side.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, like I said, the whole thing was I didn't connect nearly as much with that storyline in the show.
No.
No.
I remember sobbing during those scenes when I was reading it.
Yeah, and then, like you said, even in the book, there's two different beats to their story because doesn't Claire, I mean, it all happens in Edinburgh, but she comes into the situation at the beginning and tries to get him better, and then they go away. That's when they go up to Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to find that scene when she first made the deal with him, with Blackjack, about getting information, and I did not realize it was before they went to Bewley.
Right, yeah.
So it was way back in the chapters, and I was like, holy crap, I completely forgot that this storyline started clear back here.
Right, so you had that timestamp, though, about the Alex and Mary, because wasn't, even though he was sick, he wasn't, like, about to die the first time.
No, not when she first saw him, no.
It's only when she comes
and Mary was in Edinburgh because she had come to stay with an aunt.
Yeah.
Right.
So...
Yeah. So,
yeah, because isn't that even after she was in Edinburgh with the aunt, wasn't she? And then she goes back to her it's all, that's why it's so screwed up, because then she goes to the Duke's house.
Yeah.
Because she's been promised in marriage, so she's already been with Alex and then back to the Duke's house before they killed it. Yeah. Yeah, there was no way they were ever going to put that on the screen.
Yeah, I do have to agree with the guys from TSATs that I love Diana, but plot, not a strong point. You know, a strong linear plot that's easy to follow, not her strong point. But she doesn't write that way. She writes.
No, she doesn't use an outline, right?
No,
she doesn't know how the thing's going to end until the story tells her how it's ending.
You know, she writes scenes and patches them together however she can.
Yeah. So it's and that's the way the books read sometimes, is that.
Yeah.
Clearly she was involved in this scene, and now she has to get from point A to
figure out how to get them from here to here.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I was mostly positive about this episode. I didn't.
Yeah, me too.
I loved Jamie at the beginning. And I loved the cutting back and forth between Jamie and Claire. I loved seeing Claire doing medical stuff. You know? Because they had moved away from that so much, she was just La Dame Blanche everywhere.
Yeah.
But she was finally back to doing what she is at her core, which is a healer. So, seeing her out pulling teeth, and although I swear that's a scene right out of the Highland gathering in Drums or Fiery Cross.
Yeah, somewhere.
Sets up that little tent and has the competition, the other guy.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was Fiery Cross, I'm not sure.
Surgeons actually were basically dentists.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Barber surgeons and dentists.
Barbers.
Yeah.
One thing I did find interesting, and they really kind of moved past it, was that I thought that Blackjack thought she was more of a witch, because he would not have known about her medical experience, and yet he begs her to help Alex, and I thought that's interesting that he thought she was a witch when she gave him his date of death and all that.
Yeah.
He was afraid of her in that respect, I think. And they also kind of did that in the book. That's kind of how Diana had it in the book, too, that he didn't want to get too close to her because he didn't trust her. So I just thought it was interesting that he begged her to save Alex, keep him alive. Like maybe that was what it was. Maybe he was thinking she could perform some spell and keep him alive. I don't know.
Go do that voodoo that you do so well.
Yeah. Well, and that might have been maybe what they were going for, but it didn't really come off that way. I just thought, wow, all of a sudden he's worried. I would think you'd be afraid of her, but.
Well, and again, it's because they had to condense this story so much, because Blackjack didn't come into the story in the book until I think after she'd already been seeing.
Right, yeah, it was like the second round that he popped up.
Well, no, he popped up before they went to Bewley. Or Beaufort, not Bewley.
Well, yeah, because he pulls her out of Holyrood, so. Yeah, he pulls her out of Holyrood house, so.
But anyway.
Yep. They really condensed that. Boom.
Yeah.
And I missed having Jamie at the wedding.
You did? Everyone else was so like, oh, I'm so glad they didn't force him to stand there next to his rapist.
I always had a problem with that in the book. I was just kind of like, oh my God. And then having to take him back to his room when he was mourning. I'm just like.
Once he dies, yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, that was kind of a weird thing.
Very weird note.
Yeah.
So at first I was like, oh, they're not going to have him go back and forth, but I loved them inserting Murtaugh in there because I loved the way they worked Murtaugh's storyline, offering to marry Mary.
Oh, yeah, that was very chivalrous of Murtaugh, yeah.
No, it was better anyway, because Jamie is in the middle of the war councils and stuff. He doesn't need to be trotting off to help Claire take care of.
Well, so in the book at this point, Jamie's men were in the toll booth, and Jamie was trying to work. That's what preceded this.
Right. Yeah, because they'd been trying to get him out of the. Yeah, they were trying to send him home. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I know Claire, after that first meeting, she came back from Blackjack after they'd made the deal, and they had that whole scene that I posted in the group.
Yeah.
You know, that whole creepy.
Right.
Thing,
yeah.
You know, when he was.
Conversation between her and Blackjack, which they kind of pretty much.
I mean, they did a little hint of it.
A little, but not the whole thing.
Yeah. No, when she left that and went back to her room, that's when the men were in her room pulling weapons out and had been released from the toll booth.
Right.
And then they were going off to join.
Here, it makes more sense that he wasn't involved because he was trying to, prevent Culloden by, trying to distract the prince and get something else going and different. So I can see where it actually suits the story better anyway. It would have. It would have probably even been weirder for people that didn't know the story to see him all of a sudden.
He doesn't have time to do this.
Yeah, he didn't have time to.
He never established that Alex knew Jamie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
In the show.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
So I mean, he met him at that thing at Versailles, but that was about it. I think the book, they had more interactions. They did have more interactions.
They did in the book.
Right.
In the book they did.
So it would have been more natural to say, can you please bring your husband to witness this?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because I'm not even sure Murtaugh was with them.
Well, he would have been with the men, probably. He was probably with the men in Edinburgh, so.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Murtaugh in the book.
Murtaugh would disappear.
Yeah, but he wasn't the character he is in the show. The book character isn't this character, so.
No, I know.
The character has been very well filled out in quite many ways, so.
I fear for the fact of what's going to happen to Murtaugh.
Yeah.
I know.
I just don't know if they'll. I'm afraid they'll do it this season.
Who said, was it you guys or somebody had said, I saw it somewhere posted, that they have filmed the scenes. They have filmed all the Culloden stuff for future use. And I just saw, and I don't know where they got that information or anything, but someone had made a comment, maybe it was on another message board, that somehow they found out or they know that they've filmed everything. Because Diana told them, this is what you're going to need for the future. Well, you got these actors on set, before they take other jobs. And they age 10 years.
Like Willie.
Go ahead and film, you've got these scenes that are going to pop up as flashbacks.
At least in the next 2 seasons.
At least for the next 2 seasons. But if she's smart, she just told them, this is all the flashbacks you're going to need to film just
in case
to
you
make
want.
sure they're there.
Yeah.
In case you want them. Yeah. Because there is a lot of stuff in the future that shows up as flashbacks. So.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't know. I think it would make a bigger emotional punch if we lost Murtaugh this year rather than lose him in a flashback.
Yeah, that you just finish up and go, oh, by the way, he's dead, you know?
we have to lose him real time. You know,
Yeah.
we can't
They actually have
lose
to
it
get
as a memory.
Yeah, we get to witness at least that he's dead. Whether not,
Yeah.
we don't know how he got there. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's going to happen at Culloden.
They may not.
I was going to say, I don't think it'll happen. I don't know that it'll happen at Culloden. It may happen in another way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, we're clearly going to get the fight between Dougal. Well, now we're getting into next week's.
Yeah.
The other thing I liked that they really fleshed out Colum's motivations, and that he asked Jamie to be the guardian for Hamish. I really liked that whole, and then the whole thing between him and Dougal. That was some good stuff. That was
those scenes.
Yeah,
they
were very good.
Were wonderful. I mean, he was wonderful. He came in and looking at him, and you could tell he was, no pun intended, on his last legs.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that was really, really great and good for both those characters. Just awesome, and really fleshed that out too. Because I know we've discussed it, how mysterious did Colum kill himself? Did Dougal kill Colum? You know what happened? Because we never know. He just ends up dead. So we know that Claire had given him poison.
The bottle in the TV show was unstoppered, was it not?
Right. It was. I think they pretty much implied he had taken that poison that she.
Which is the exact opposite of the book.
Yeah,
the bottle was sitting on his nightstand.
Right. It never got taken.
Yeah.
So they went ahead and clarified that Colum did it himself. It wasn't Dougal.
Well, in the book, it was a more violent death because they found him with his eyes wide open.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So then now that says that maybe he was, maybe it was the Marcus Aurelius from Gladiator thing.
Or Dougal smothered him with a pillow.
Yeah. So.
That's certainly a possibility, because the whole thing was because they changed it so much. I mean, the book was the fact that Colum was there to try and decide whether or not to bring the clan into the fight or to stay out of it.
Right. Yeah.
And
advice.
We never actually heard, because he never told Claire
what
he was doing. But we knew the next day when they found him that he must have told Dougal or something.
That was the assumption from reading the book, is that he told Dougal and Dougal killed him, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
To take control of the clan.
This way he's done it with Amy standing there. Which can also cause part of what's going to be the unrest or the confrontation next time, is that Dougal's just basically been shoved aside for his son and for his nephew.
Yeah, well, Dougal's always had this love/hate/jealousy relationship with Jamie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
He loved him as his sister's child, sister's son, the time that he spent with him growing up. Because I think they did refer to the fact that Jamie did foster with Dougal, didn't they?
I'm sure they did.
I think so, yeah. I'm almost positive.
And because he came, I remember Leary saying that he came with Dougal, he was 16, and he came to Castle Leoch for the first time with Dougal.
Right, that's right.
So I mean, since I knew it, I guess I just inferred that was the 2 years he'd spent fostering with Dougal.
Kid, yeah.
So they had that relationship established, but then it was just it's the pupil outpacing the teacher,
Yes.
So, and that teacher becoming embittered and jealous and just not being able to stand that this younger
clansman,
has now outshone him and outstripped him.
And they even handed the position he thought he was due.
That he thought he was entitled to.
Yeah, he thought it was going to go to him.
He's usurped his authority, is what he's done.
And he can't even though they talked about it as far as who the real father of Hamish is, it's not that Dougal can claim him as a son. He can't. You know, that child has been claimed by Colin, and it would just make Letitia look bad too. I mean, to do that, they would if he was to step up and say, well, he's really my son. Well, okay, you know.
Well, did they do that in the show, or did they just do it in the book when Colin insisted with Dougal that Bayless Duncan's child was Arthur Duncan's child?
Well,
he married when she conceived that child, and by Scottish law, that child is a Duncan, would never be able to be claimed by Dougal.
Right. So that was good. And I'm glad that they actually fleshed out that's where the baby went and it was born.
Yep.
To help us in the future.
Dougal told Claire that because it was Dougal who.
In the book, that all happened off page 2, where Claire just comes back at some point and says, "Oh yeah, well Colin told me this." It's like, I'm glad they showed it.
Well, no, Dougal told her that in the book.
Yeah, well, but it's only because she told him, because she tells Roger that, oh yeah, by the way, Colin told me where they put the baby. They don't tell us in the book until she tells Roger that Colin told her. But I'm glad that they actually acted it out instead of just having her tell poor Roger, oh, by the way, this is what Colin told me. I'm glad they actually showed it.
Yeah, well, it's also a matter of, that whole plot line, it took me like 2 or 3 reads to realize how that related to Roger.
Oh, okay.
Because the first time I was speed reading through things so fast because I just couldn't stand not knowing what was going to happen.
The big stuff. You wanted to see the big stuff.
Yeah, that the little smaller plots and connections just kind of went whoosh.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they definitely want to make sure we know that for next week, or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I thought that was, and I'm glad that they did. They made it obvious.
What else?
Okay.
The Gallic Prayer, I think, was.
Oh, loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much out of the book.
Yep, it was.
Was that this episode or was that last episode?
Wait a minute.
That might have been last episode.
It was last episode. What's the last episode?
Yeah.
I'm confused now because I watched both of them together this weekend. I'm like, wait a minute. Is it last episode?
I think that was last week, yeah. Yeah, because these two haven't been naked together tonight. They weren't naked.
Yeah, that's right.
They showed up outside Inverness, exhausted, starving.
And then everybody went different directions. The little kid.
And they left Fergus sleeping on the table. So I guess Fergus slept on the table for 2 days.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, and I like how they're showing how really Fergus is getting close to Murtaugh too. Telling him, oh, you need sleep and all that. I mean, I think that's interesting that they're kind of building that relationship.
Yeah, the only way I could see them saving Murtaugh is if they send Murtaugh off with Fergus to take the deed.
Yeah, next week, yeah. That would be the only thing, but I don't know. We'll see.
Because that would be the only way I think Murtaugh would leave, is if Jamie told him, you have to save the rest of my family for me.
Right.
Because that's basically what that whole thing does. Is it saves the rest of Jamie's family and all of the tenants and farmers.
It'll be interesting to see what they do. I'm curious because I know so many people are really wanting them to change some of the characters around. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure they'll make the right choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so.
And somebody said that the surprise attack attempt was in the book. I don't remember it in the book.
I don't either. I mean,
I know it's historically accurate, but I don't remember it having been in the book.
Yeah, I don't know.
I need to get a copy of the Outlandish Companion so I could look at that stuff up.
Because the day before the battle is when the whole thing with Dougal happens.
Right. Just
and the night before, isn't it the day before the battle that they were marching? the 12 miles.
I don't remember now. I don't have my book.
Well, I mean, that's not in the book. This is just in the TV show.
Yeah.
When they marched the 12 miles to try and do the surprise attack where the British were encamped at Nairn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's mention, because I know that there's mention in conversations between Roger and Brianna in the next book, or even this book, might have been in this book, where they talk about, Prince Charles has a picnic at the, he has a picnic set, which ironically turns out to be the one that Jamie's grandfather gives to him.
Yeah.
And we go, oh wait, is that the one? Just kind of a weird little link. But he makes some comments about that and how young Cumberland is and all that. So I don't know if it's in part of that conversation that there was a birthday party, or that that might have happened. Or, I don't know. Because most of those generals, I think, are either die or get executed. So I don't know if there's any real historical. There probably is, but most of the Scottish generals don't make it.
Oh no, I know that attempted surprise attack. That's an historically accurate.
Historical that they were planning to do it. They
did do it, and Charlie and his troop got lost.
Okay.
So they turned around and went back.
Huh. Okay.
That's historically
correct.
Accurate. That actually happened.
Okay. Huh.
So, but like I said, I don't remember it being in the book that was ever part of the whole
scheme, yeah.
Whole plot and scheme that we were aware of. Because I think Jamie was distracted with Colum and Dougal and what to do about the prince and all of that.
Right.
Which we'll get all of that next week, or 2 weeks.
But see, in the book, Colum, doesn't he die in Edinburgh? He doesn't even die near Culloden. He dies in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
They even get to Culloden. So by the time they get to Culloden, Dougal is in charge of the Mackenzies. In the book.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Fireworks.
Already, huh? You too. My neighbors too. They've been testing out theirs. My cats aren't happy.
Yeah. Well, our problem is we don't live inside any kind of city limits, and we're out on the lake, so.
Yeah.
They started shooting them 2 days ago.
They're going to use them all up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that for them condensing it is one thing, and that's great, but it is kind of weird if you know the story. Wait, this happened somewhere else,
Yeah, I mean, all of the logistics and the locations and the timelines, a lot of that stuff, I didn't pay a huge amount of attention to in the books. I'm not one of those people who does pay a lot of attention to geography and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So when the geography is different or wrong, it's not something that stands out to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do notice the timeline, because I did notice the whole, back when Louisa was still pregnant 9 months after they had left France.
Right.
And she'd been, I don't know, 3 or 4 months pregnant when they left France. So she was
baby,
like an
baby didn't want to come out.
Yeah.
Didn't want to come out. That's all. It knew what kind of world it was coming into and decided it was safer there.
Yeah.
It didn't want to get bit by that monkey, man.
But overall, there were parts of this episode that I thought were really wonderful. I loved the Dougal and Colum stuff.
Yeah.
I loved the Colum with Claire, the Colum with Jamie stuff. I just loved all Gary Lewis's stuff.
It was good. It was good.
And they were contrasting two dysfunctional brother relationships.
Right.
Between, Colum and Dougal and Alex and Blackjack.
Jack, yeah.
Yeah, I went and I know I commented on Twitter, but then I turned around after the episode and I put in episode 1 again to look at that scene when Claire just pulls back from Frank, when he either leans into her the 2 times, the time that she's telling him the backstory, but in the hospital, when she just automatically backs up. And I thought, okay, that adds another layer to that after she had 2 days technically in her life. 2 days before that, she just watched this guy's ancestor beat the crap out of a
I'll
corpse.
be right back. I've got a dog who wants down. Hang on.
So I think it was interesting to show it that way.
Yeah. I still didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I mean, I thought, wow, that kind of colors that, because even watching the first episode of this season, you knew that she was repulsed by Blackjack, but after seeing the stuff he does all season, and all this stuff is really in her recent past, even though she's moved forward 200 years, and I thought, now okay, that makes sense, because she really knows this guy's ancestor is a psycho.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting in the bigger sense. And I know I've said
he wasn't the direct descendant.
Yeah, but still, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, the fact that they've made them look exactly alike.
Yeah, but the two of that, Tobias and the other actor, I can't think of his name, Dobians or whatever.
Lawrence.
Yeah. Anyway, God, they look alike though.
Yes, they did. I noticed it even more in that scene in the boarding house.
Yeah, they did a good job of pairing them up.
Yeah,
they really did. Yep. Very good job.
Yeah. Oh, and then if you go back and look at the first episode again, if you haven't looked at it since they've announced the adult Roger, they did good there too. Because you look at that little kid and you go, wow, that guy looks like him.
Yeah, we won't talk about 6 or 7-year-old Brianna and
No,
now those two don't look alike, but yeah, that little boy. When I'm watching, I go, yeah, they really did good with the kid with the big eyes, big saucer eyes, and everything.
Yeah, I'm going to have a whole rant about how the writers, producers, and showrunners are now expecting us to believe that in the world of Outlander, a redheaded, blue-eyed girl's eyes will change when she hits puberty to dark brown.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that little girl, I didn't even know
she had blue eyes.
Oh my God.
Yes, she did.
Maybe they're going to just say that the grown-up girl's wearing brown contacts because she doesn't like her blue eyes.
Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, they didn't have brown contacts then. You had solid glass permeable contacts in 1968.
Oh, so they didn't have color contacts?
No.
I don't know. I don't know the history of that far back.
Yeah, no. Colored contacts, I think, started in what? The 80s or 90s?
Yeah, I had them in 84, and they were fairly new when I had them in 84.
Fairly new, yeah. So, yeah, I remember my brother-in-law talking about maybe getting a pair. So, yeah, no, not in the 60s.
As somebody with brown eyes, I don't even think I'd attempt blue-eyed contacts, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing they can do unless they just want to go digitally in there and make her eyes blue in every shot. So.
But the actress herself could have worn blue contacts.
She could have.
But would they have covered brown eyes? That's what I'm saying.
They would. Yeah, they would. They would.
You would have had the kind of blue like Jamie's eyes, because to me they would feel muddy. They would look muddy.
That's how you. I mean, there's a number of African Americans who have brown eyes who wear contacts and end up with green and blue eyes.
Yeah.
And so the way that they cover, you get the color.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
If you there's so many movies that you can see, Phyllis, that have the actors have brown eyes and they give them blue eyes, or they give them green eyes, or Jesus, they give them white eyes,
Orlando Bloom is Legolas. Orlando Bloom has chocolate brown eyes.
Yep.
Legolas was bright blues, and those were contacts.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'll have to look at it that way. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good example then, because like I said, I have brown eyes, and it never would have occurred to me that I could change them to blue.
But yeah,
you can.
Blue to brown, green, but not brown to blue.
No, Orlando's eyes are a real dark chocolate brown, and Legolas had those bright blue eyes.
Okay.
Yep. And they weren't CGI'd; those were contacts.
Nope, those were contacts, because I did all that behind-the-scenes stuff, and he was bitching about the contacts, and they showed him putting them in and taking them out.
Yeah. So they could have done it. They could have done it, and they could have given her more three-dimensional red hair. Right now, it just kind of looks like, in the pictures I've seen,
it looks auburn.
Blah. Yeah, it looks auburn.
Yeah, it looks like my hair color, and I'm putting red over. For years, I've put dark auburn over brown. That's the color I have. That's my dad would have told you it's natural, but it's not. It's the same color I've done for 20 years.
Yeah, and a brunette, they can
Different.
believe me, a brunette is hard, a true brunette's hard to bring up to blonde because of the fact that, there's a lot of different pigment in their hair.
Uh-huh.
And you get to that orange stage and you sit there forever before, you whiten up. So they could have gotten her redder, or they could have slapped a really good wig on her.
Yeah, but then now
know?
she'd be tied to a wig for the next 20 years. I don't know. I mean, I knew that they were going to have problems when she turned up as a brunette in the first place, because they're like you. I think you were the one that said it, that turning a brunette to red is different than turning a blonde to red. And I really believe that too. Because even the boxes, because I just get mine out of the box, it just shows you're going to get a different shade depending on your natural hair color.
Yeah, but believe me,
because you have to strip color out of brunette and then deposit color to get the red.
Right, and that
you're just depositing color.
And that'll tear your hair up.
Thing is,
so.
you can pull them up to, you can pull a brunette up to, you don't have to go, like I said, all the way. You go to that orange state and then you deposit the red on it. Believe me, I see Terry do it all the time, and it comes out
all I can think of, though, is that really would limit her as an actress and totally destroy all that long hair.
Yeah, that's what happened.
You start stripping that color and that cuticle. And
then let them put extensions in it that at least give her a variance of color, where she's got copper strands and things.
Yeah, the hair color, whatever. The eye color, the fact that they cast a little girl to play her with blue eyes and they didn't do anything about her brown eyes, that pisses me off.
Yeah,
that is sloppy. That is inconsistent.
That's very sloppy.
It is the production not paying attention to details. That pisses me off.
Yeah.
And the fact that Meryl Davis came out and said after Vengeance is Mine, said, oh, we wanted to have Mary stab her and kill her rapist. We thought she earned that. Danton did not rape Mary. Danton didn't rape anybody.
Yeah.
No.
He was not the rapist. He was the rapist.
He was just the...
He did not rape Mary. But the fact that the production came out and said he was the rapist, no. They showed us he was not the rapist. So all of the contradictory crap we're getting from them is pissing me off.
They're kind of covering their tracks, you think, or trying to cover their tracks.
And I can't imagine it's going to be that much better, any better, if it's going to be worse next year, because they're moving so freaking fast. If they're going to come out in the spring.
That's going to be interesting if we're done talking about this episode. After seeing that
thing from Oklahoma? Yeah, the Oklahoma thing post,
and they're planning on, now remember, spring is only just ended, so spring for them could be June, but even so, they haven't even started filming. They're going to do a lot of stuff inside.
September.
Yeah, they've got to be planning on doing a lot of stuff indoors and on sets, because I can't imagine them moving that production around to pick up a whole bunch of that stuff. I mean, and there's a lot of stuff that's outside, but I can't imagine what they're going to do, because it's all over the place. And they're going to come up with the 13 weeks of show. They'll still be filming when they open the show.
They will still be filming.
I expect them, they're going to want to be in for May sweeps. I don't think they'll skip May sweeps, so I think the show would probably come back late April, early May. But it also, they tend to start it after Black Sails is over, so whenever Black Sails ends, everything's moving to Sunday, remember?
Right.
Everything's moving to Sunday.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they pull it off. I guess I'm glad that they're giving their actors a bunch of rest, because they're going to work the crap out of them.
They haven't. They've been on PR tours forever. And Terry just did a big Twitter blast this morning and basically said she got no break, because she's been doing all of the exhibits and the tours with the costumes and all that kind of stuff. She got no vacation. She's already working on season 3.
Yeah, didn't she just go back to Scotland? I saw something about a missed flight the other day, so it sounds like
she's back in Scotland.
Yeah, and then
the season 3 costumes going.
And I had to laugh on Saturday, because I was on Twitter when the broadcast, the East Coast, 9 o'clock, whatever, it was 6 o'clock here.
So was I.
Ron's at the ball game. Ron's up in San Francisco at the ball game, tweeting his card, tweeting his, and I'm thinking, oh, that guy is funny.
Well, that's where all these people got this information, that I think he invited fans to join him for a drink before the game.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, that's what they said, isn't it? That they were up there with
him. He did that the last time he was at a Giants game, because he's a huge Giants fan.
Yeah.
But nobody took him up on it. So I said, oh, maybe next time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And
well,
then I think there was a crowd.
That's funny. Well, good for him for doing that. I just thought it was funny that, yeah, everyone else is talking Outlander, and Outlander stars are tweeting about the show, and Ron's tweeting the cards for the game.
He's tweeting the scorecard.
Yeah,
He's doing play-by. Basically, he was doing play-by-play of the game.
It was an interesting little tidbit about his uncle being the bus driver at Chowchilla when those kids were kidnapped at Chowchilla. I didn't know that. So that was kind of, as I remember that, I think of that. The kidnapped kids in the bus. It was in the 70s.
Did they do that in a Dirty Harry movie?
I don't know if they did it in the Dirty Harry movie, but it's
there was a Dirty Harry movie that had a busload of kids kidnapped.
And then the bus somehow they ended up underground. So they took them from the bus, and then they put them in this underground storage container. They broke out of it, but his uncle was the bus driver. And I think that's ironic, because that's the only thing I know Chowchilla for. Every time I drive through there, I think of that, even though it's 40 years ago.
Yeah.
50 years ago, 40 years ago. So it's crazy. Anyway, that was interesting.
So anyway, I like the fact that we've heard that it's 13 episodes unless they decide they need more.
Yay!
Yeah, I like the flexibility. I like the flexibility that there's a possibility that we'll get more than one 90-minute episode.
What I could kind of see is what they could do if they were kind of doing almost like a mid-season finale, or not finale, but a mid-season.
Yeah, between
extended episode.
Yeah, they go from one to the other. Yeah,
I could see the changeover from the first part of Voyager to the second part of the story being a 90-minute.
Right.
Yeah.
Being big.
Or a two-parter. Maybe they'll have 2 episodes on the same night at an hour apiece too.
Yeah.
They've done that too. A lot of different series have done that. I mean, I think they've done that for Kurt Sutter with Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, that was my comment.
He had weird times. Like he'd have 67-minute episodes or 73-minute episodes.
Right.
You're like, the hell? But they
and Ron's had a couple of those, because when you add on the trailer for the next week and then the behind the scenes,
that's over an hour.
Most of them are over an hour. They're like an hour and 7 minutes, most of them, except for the ones that they shortened. Only had like a 53-minute episode.
Yeah, but most of them, they've been a little over an hour. Yeah. A little over an hour. And I know that they, like you said, it's the trailer and their little talk at the end. But I'm good with them running either longer episodes or getting a couple more beyond 13.
Yeah.
I would probably expect just longer episodes.
Yeah, they've already written 10 of the 13 episodes for next season.
So if they know they can extend them, why not just extend them? Why deal with?
Right.
Why try and do a whole new week and?
Yeah, especially if you've blocked them out, like you said. They block them out as this all has to happen in this episode, and then they start peeling stuff off. Well, it's just that much less they got to peel off, I guess.
Yeah. So
that's good that they're giving him free reign. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see them doing it for what they consider special episodes, and I consider the print shop.
Yeah, that's going to be
the print shop being a special episode.
Right. Yeah, if you think of that whole season, of that whole storyline, there's several that are going to be.
Well, that is the pivotal moment in that book.
Yeah.
That's when the story completely changes.
Right, then it goes back, Yeah.
Oh, they better do it right. I mean, they better do it right. We're all going to, implode if they don't. I'm serious. That'll be... Yeah.
It'll be a 2-second thing. It'll be knock on the door, bell rings. Oh, you're back. Okay.
Okay. No, don't even joke, Phyllis, because you will jinx it. You will jinx it. I mean, Ron's going to want to get to the fire and the this and the that and the guy that they think I mean, it's just like, please, think of the women. This is my thing. This is not Battlestar Galactica or Deep Space Nine. This is a romance. It's a historical romance.
Yeah.
With a little sci-fi in it because of the time travel. But when you get down to it, it's not a bodice ripper, but it's a romance.
It's a relationship story.
Yes, it's a relationship story, which we get to the part we haven't had enough of that this past year.
Plus, the good part about that part of the story is it's a rekindling too, so there's a lot more to deal with.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that they do have them rekindle. Or like, oh man, I haven't seen you for 20 years. Well, nice to see you. Let's go do this. You know, it's like,
let's go do this. Glad you're back.
Yeah. Hi.
No,
Oh man.
I'm sure they won't get away with cutting it too short.
Pat. Your ass still looks fine, Sassenach. You know, it's like,
oh dear.
You know, there's so much that they have to, this next book, it's going to be so interesting to see from both points of view and how they're going to handle are they going to rush Bree and Roger together again at the beginning? Is it going to be like, okay, let's forget about this? And it's just, there's so much. Yeah, there's so much going on.
Yeah, well, evidently next week, since we know a lot of Verbeek is going to be in 2 weeks, going to be in the episode.
Yeah.
Does that mean we're going to chase Jillian Edgars all over the frickin' Highlands?
Probably.
Oh, please don't tell me that.
I wonder if they'll actually speak to her. I mean, I wonder if someone will actually, because they just hired this actress back for a long shot, or are they going to actually speak to her? I'm curious to see what their take is on it. Because if they speak, if Claire speaks to her, then that just throws that whole story around.
Well, what I can see them doing is using her going through the stones as a way to cement the truth to Brianna.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if she's basically just going to be a long shot on an extra, no conversation, or they're actually going to insert her into a scene with Roger or somebody.
Well, she actually didn't appear in the book except at the stones, and they just saw her. She never spoke.
That's what I mean. I wonder if they're going to follow that, or because they've got a legitimate actress, will they give her a scene with somebody where she has lines and stuff? I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do.
I wouldn't waste Lottie Verbeek because I like her. I've liked her in everything I've ever seen her, and she's a good actress. So she could, I don't see them just not giving her something. But I hope it's not.
The only thing I see that I've seen done recently, something like that, and you saw it too, Jerry, on Walking Dead, where they had that one actor. It's from like a season ago. They had that young actor that was in one of the episodes. Him and the girl gets killed. He comes across Carol and then they show them at the trough and they're cutting throats. That actor never got a line, and he already had the job in Gotham. He's the Penguin in Gotham. But they brought him back just to split his throat, and he never got a line. And because
what's his name now?
Season,
Jesus.
they're all lined up at the trough getting killed at the crossroads there, or what do they call it? Terminus. He ends up at Terminus, and he sees them at the end of this row, and he gets his throat cut. And they even joked about it afterwards at the Talking Dead, and they said, "Oh my God, I can't believe they did that." Andrew Lincoln was like, "Yeah, they brought this actor back just to cut his throat."
Yep.
So, I guess they could just give her a scene with nothing said. Yeah, because she doesn't speak in the book.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Because she doesn't know them.
No, she doesn't know them.
She doesn't know Roger. She doesn't know them.
Yeah, so she can't speak to Claire for sure, because that would skew the whole thing of her seeing her in the past. If she sees her in the future, she would know her because they would have spoke to her. So that's why I don't do. That'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
I do know that I think I saw somewhere that, and I think it wasn't just a speculation on the TSATS podcast, I think I actually saw somewhere that Ron maybe said that they're going to be cutting back and forth between 1968 and 1740.
Yeah, I think I read that somewhere too.
Okay.
I think I read that somewhere.
I
didn't listen to
TSAT seems to think that they'll start in 1968, that the next episode will actually start in 1968 with Claire and Brianna walking up to the Reverend Wakefield's house.
Okay, that would make a lot of sense because, now she's basically, they'll show that she told this whole story to Brianna and Roger. Yeah.
Right.
I know that they used that one scene, and this isn't from the book, unless it's not Claire, but there's that one scene in the credits at the beginning where someone with dark curly hair is driving a car up to Lollybrock. And I think it's Claire, and so I'm thinking, okay, well, Claire, it looks like Claire actually goes to Lollybrock.
Claire didn't go to Lollybrock in the book, did she?
Not at all.
Brianna and Roger went to Lollybrock.
Yeah.
And actually, Brianna didn't go either. Roger went to Lollybrock. But
doing his research.
Yeah, when he was looking for stuff, Brianna's not there either. But I think that's interesting that they're gonna, because it sure looks like it's Claire driving. So I'm thinking, okay, it must be her that drives that.
Well, I mean, what I've read is that and again, I don't know if it's just speculation, because with the internet these days, you can't tell what's legitimate.
No, you can't anymore.
What's just fan site postings.
Well, they're not giving away anything. I wouldn't even.
No, but they basically what they said was the plot of next week or of 2 weeks is the fact that Claire brings her 20-year-old daughter to Scotland to make peace with her past.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, which would make her visit. She would go to Lollybrock. She might go back to Castle Leoch.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they could do that again. Yeah, I'm curious to see it because they gave us absolutely no other hints in the previews.
Yeah.
About what's going to happen.
Actually, I can't imagine they wouldn't give Katrina the scene at, is it St. Kilda with the gravestone?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that could be, you're right, they could probably do the whole front of the book and then end it, like you said, flop it back and forth as she's trying to tell the story to Brianna and Roger, ending up with, yeah, okay. That makes sense. It's that way there won't just be like 20 minutes of Jamie and then nothing. You'll at least get glimpses of Jamie through the whole hour and a half.
There should be. Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm looking forward to it. They needed to just go ahead and release it next week.
Yeah. I did see, I don't know if it's a media guy or what he was, but he had seen the last episode and he tweeted at Diana.
Yeah.
And said that he was, I don't remember exactly what he said, he was just like almost speechless or something along those lines as far as how it affected him.
Okay. So hopefully it is that good then.
I hope so. I hope that's Nesta Plant, tweeting something to her, messaging something to her. I had to laugh. I felt so bad for poor Raina today because she's like, oh my God. She says, I'm so ready. She says, I'm not ready. I'm so ready, but not ready to cry my eyes out next week. And I'm like, no, honey, not next weekend. 2 weeks from now. She's like, what? What? And I'm like, where have you been?
Time to watch something else.
Yeah, there's nothing next week. She says, wank. She says, what am I going to do? Because, Game of Thrones ended too. And I'm like,
well. That's right. That ended yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, why? I said, because there's a holiday next week. And she's like, what holiday? I was like, duh, right, 4th of July. And she goes, oh, yeah, right, 4th of July. She says, that's how much I hate America. I can't even remember the holiday.
That's funny.
So I'm like, it'll give you, I said, do like I'm going to do, marathon the whole season this weekend. And
yeah, I'm going to do the same.
That's not what I was saying. Although I can't do it this weekend, and I don't have time to do it this week. Because I've got a class I have to finish this week.
You could get it done between now and the finale, though, Angie.
Oh, yeah, I can marathon between now and the finale.
Yeah. I'm just going to, when I'm sitting at home, since I have a long weekend this weekend, which I'm going to really enjoy, I'm going to go ahead and do that one day. I think Tommy's got to work Monday, too. So.
I can marathon on the 4th.
Yeah, I could probably marathon on the 4th, too, because of the fact that I think Tom has got to work all day that day. I think they're going to be open. I'm not sure.
I have to work Sunday night. I mean, I work the whole weekend.
Yeah. I know you're on that schedule.
Yeah.
So.
I've gotten to the point, though, that I tend to come home on Mondays and maybe grab a 2-hour nap and then stay up so I can flip my days and nights the first night.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, I just realized, too, that I'm going to have a long weekend for Labor Day. So technically, I'm going to work for one day that week. Tuesday. I should just take the whole week off, too. Screw it. So.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And my 2-hour nap is starting to catch up with me. So.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
And I have an 8 o'clock meeting in the morning, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
4-hour staff meeting, so.
So is there anything else off of that before we let you go so you can get some sleep? Is there anything else off of that thing, that post that had all the Ron's discussion that we wanted to touch on? All I can say is I hope they do keep bring the romance back next year. I really do. You know,
Well, the fact that he said there's going to be a lot of Frank, it's like, we're going to get
but why?
Frank, all those Frank scenes
Frank,
from Voyager.
oh, come on. We don't
Yeah,
need to
there's
see.
gonna be
We don't need to see that Frank's having affairs with all the little.
Oh,
Oh, they
God.
probably won't do that. They're going to make Frank a better guy.
I want to see the girlfriend melting down at the staff party. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that would be
Better
great.
show that. They had better show big old pregnant Claire with the drunk girlfriend melting down at the staff party.
I'm telling you though,
Claire oblivious.
In the show world, Frank is a worthy partner for Claire.
Yeah.
So I could see them completely changing his frickin' character.
Oh.
Yeah. Please no, because that
an actual tragedy.
Right, but then why does it, if his character is changed so much, then why does he run out on her? Because she's being the bad woman? Because she's still in love with Jamie, and because
they probably won't even do that. He's leaving her. It'll be a tragic accident.
Well, it was a tragic accident, but it just happened to follow an argument.
Yeah, no, this is a tragic accident.
He ran out about something.
He ran out to get diapers.
No,
wait a minute, no.
Oh, she's like 18. Brianna's like 18 when it happened.
Well, she's still in high school.
17, so it's before she graduated. But yeah.
All right, so yeah. So he ran out to do something.
Spoilers. We need to turn this off. We're giving all these.
I know, we're spoiling all over the place for.
Well, let me tell you about the next book. This is what's going to happen next.
Oops, sorry.
So sorry, guys. We're talking about it.
That's bad. Yeah. Shame on us. We're just bad.
Just put a note there that towards the end of the video, we get very spoilery for next year.
Goodness.
Yeah.
All right, so we covered this episode and got our likes and dislikes.
Yeah, it was a good. It was a good one.
Yeah, on the whole, it was a good episode. Yeah, on the whole, it was a good episode. So it's
like I said, I think I told somebody I had a couple of what the fuck moments.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've had quite a few of those this year, though. You know, we've had quite a few. When you and I are watching at 1 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden it pops up in the text or the message going back and forth, going, "What the? Do you see that big WTF?"
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what? You know, so.
3 weeks of Claire Community Theater.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. So, well, we'll see. We have a break next week.
Yeah. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah.
Set up all the firecrackers next week if my neighbors don't blow them all up this week.
So we have a break next Monday night, and then I guess we'll meet again for
on the 11th.
On the 11th for the big one.
Sounds
the big
good.
One.
Big old finale, and that I will take a break after that. I think for the month of July, maybe.
Yeah. You guys work your schedules because you've got your school and everything. So.
Yeah, well, my school actually ends this week. My last day is Friday, but.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't want to start reading anything. I'm picking up some extra shifts in July, so.
Okay.
I've got 3 weeks in a row where I'm possibly working 4 days a week.
Well, we have.
I know, it sounds terrible. Sounds so terrible.
No, that's okay.
But
we know we have until the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am glad it's not a year and a half. I'm glad that they're
me too.
Until a year from fall or something. Yeah.
My mom is going to be ecstatic too, because when we were watching, she's like, "Oh my God!" She came over, watched the other night, being 87 years old. She's like, "When does the next season start?" And at that point, I didn't know. I said, "Oh, Mom, we're worried that because it got late renewal, that may not start until the fall of next year, or maybe even 2018." And she looked at me quite seriously. She says, they better do it while I'm still alive. I was like, oh, Mom. So she'll be excited now.
I mean, this is sad. I have had a friend, really good friend of mine, one of my ceramic people, doll making people, and I got her turned on these books, and she's passed, and so she died. She didn't get to see the rest of the story. I feel bad.
Oh, yeah.
I hope her name was Angie too. So I gotta say, I'm just always hoping that she's somewhere. If there is another place, she's getting to see it anyway.
Yeah.
She knows what all the books are going to be. But I think of that, and I think, oh, here's all this going down.
Hey, when you hit my age, when you hit 60, that's when you start going. It's like, okay, wow, Marvel's going to come out with Captain America, blah, 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 in 2021. Am I still going to be here?
Yes.
It's like you start to think that way now,
So think like that. You'll be here.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, Diana, come on, hurry up with this damn book.
Jerry, you're going to be 95 years old in a nursing home with a walker.
David Cook's blaring.
Yes.
I hope so.
That's right.
From your mouth to the Supreme Being's ear, Angie.
I thought that was one thing in that Ron interview that somebody asked about Diana and writing another episode, and she said something about she's really on a streak right now. She's really working on book 9, so I'm thinking maybe she got inspired by what's going down with the show.
She said this one's going faster than the others had.
Yeah.
So
let's hope.
Let's
hope
pressure.
we see that by 2019.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, so.
Well, she's got the pressure now, that's going, okay, well, this is book 9, so we're moving on to book 3 now, so shit, I've only got 6 more years before they'd get up to, 6 more seasons before they'd get up to the book, so I better be done by then.
It's like George R.R. Martin, trying to type out a book they want to film.
Oh, well, God, he's got a hell of a lot of book to catch up to now.
Yeah, I guess they're past the book, so.
Oh, after last night, he's got a hell of a lot of book to catch up to. And then what's going to happen next year? He better hurry up too.
He might as well just publish the scripts for the show and call it done.
Yeah, seriously.
Just let him finish the show out, then he can publish the books and call them, or the scripts and call it the last book. And be done.
And you talk about characters that you have to. Holy shit! You need to have a chalkboard with family trees and everything on it in front of you that covers your wall in order to follow all the characters in those books.
I've watched Game of Thrones, but I don't watch it that closely. But it seems like I haven't seen this season at all. But it seems like every season somebody comes out with an entire spreadsheet on who's connected to who and how, and it's always different. I mean, it's always been added to. There's so many more characters because I've seen 2 of them about how the families are connected.
When you start to read it for the first time, that's your whole thing is like going, okay, wait a minute, let me go back 20 pages. Where did this person come from? And you go back and forth because there's so many characters. But they all, it's not like they're superfluous though. They all serve a purpose.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't know if I could have read those books because it would have been too much. That's why I can't read Lord of the Rings. It drives me nuts.
Really?
Yeah, and it's so much going on, and I couldn't do it in high school. My best friend is a huge fan, and she reads them every couple of years. She goes back through them again. Yeah. But I said, I love the movies. I could watch the movies over and over again. But those books, I don't know if I could do it because I tried it, and I was like, what in the hell is going on here?
That was my whole 8th grade English was Tolkien. My teacher, I loved her. Mary Alice Fitzgerald was my 8th grade English teacher. And no, 7th grade English teacher, because 8th grade I came down here. And she was sitting on the desk when I walked into her classroom, little feisty Irish woman. And she had all these new brand spanking new textbooks on the edge of her desk. And we all sat down in our little desks, and she looked at us and she introduced herself. And she says, these are your textbooks. She says, they're brand new. She says, they're the new ones for this year. She says, and I got them home to get, her schedule or what syllabus, whatever it is, done for the year. She says, and I started reading through these and my teacher's manual. She says, and they're a bunch of crap. And that's exactly what she said. And she took the books and she went poof like this and tipped them off the edge of her desk, and they landed in the wastebasket and on the floor and everything else. And she goes, I'm not using this to teach you English. And then she turned around, went behind her desk, she pulled out a huge box, and she set it down, and she pulled out, and I still have the paperback copy of The Hobbit. She goes, all right, she says, I have bought these for you at my own expense. She says, this is what we're going to do. And so she says, we're going to read this book first. She says, and then we're going to read the trilogy. She says, the trilogy you're going to have to buy for yourselves. She says, but I'm going to give you these, and this is how I'm going to teach you English. And our whole 7th grade English class was Tolkien.
Oh,
and
wow.
Man, I learned more in that class than in any other English goddamn class I took.
It probably helped that you had a teacher that loved the material, obviously. I mean, that makes it so much better.
Yep.
So that's cool. That's cool. I probably
wonderful.
would have been through the same thing if I'd been something like that.
Yeah, and
I would consume books in my younger days. I read more crap than I can imagine.
my mom, were you one of those kids that kind of lived for when you got the Scholastic thing in school and you were like, oh, I can order books at school,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the book fairs and oh my God, I always had a stack of whatever was new from the library. I always had a stack every 2 weeks or whatever from the public library. Yep. My mother would come in my room and say, go outside.
Yeah.
Play.
Me too.
Because I'd be laid in bed reading, and I would read and read and read and read. And I remember those days.
Yeah, what I used to do.
Concentration now.
What I used to do is I would get that whole stack of books, and they would come, and I loved the smell. That's why I'm still a big fanatic about having an actual book, because I love the smell of them. And so I would get that Saturday morning. I would get up and I would take a shower. And then I would disappear, and my mom would come looking for me a couple hours later, and I was curled up in my bed with the bonnet hair dryer on, with the hot air still cooking my hair 2 or 3 hours later, because it drowned out all the sound around me.
Oh, that's
and
funny.
I was buried in my books, and that's what I did for the weekend, under the hair dryer with the books.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm
going to stop the broadcast, guys.
Yeah, you should. We're just chit-chatting.
So yeah, we'll see. Anybody wants to join for the finale on not this Monday, but a week from Monday, so July 11th. We'll all be, and I'm trying to get Saturday night off from 7 to 11, so I can at least kind of live tweet the live broadcast. We'll see if it happens.
Okay.
I have to work Friday night, so it just depends on whether or not what's going on at work.
Okay.
Because it never fails. Just when we have nothing, as soon as I sit down to start watching, something walks in.
It's something. It's a sick patient.
Or the patient starts puking all over.
A baby decides it wants to be born. Now, how the baby doesn't know that they're supposed to leave her alone between 11 and 12?
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, you have to start talking. I'm going to say you have to start talking to those vaginas, Angie, when they come in. Stay in there until midnight.
Like, just hang out, drink a big glass of water, lay down, and rest for an hour. Come in at 12:30.
Right.
Yep. That's it.
Hold your knees together. I'll be back in an hour.
Yeah.
Hey, got a big cork? It'll help.
Hey, I once worked with a doctor. It was when KU was playing in the national championship game against Oklahoma. This would have been 2008. Doctor's a huge KU fan. We have a patient who's laboring. And when they came in, they were Mizzou fans.
Oh,
they didn't care they didn't care whether or not KU was playing. We went complete at the time it went into overtime.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's funny.
Down during that overtime. We let her labor down during the overtime. We did not go in to deliver her until they had won the game, and as that baby's being born, they're hearing the rock, chalk, Jayhawk, K. Coming over the TV because the game was over, or they were winning the game. So it's like, whatever, you know, it's a lot of fun. So, but anyway,
I'm
on
sure.
the 11th, guys, we'll see you on the 11th, and we'll discuss the season finale and whether or not we survived and how many Kleenexes, if we had to use Kleenexes, or if we were just pissed off about stuff. Because obviously,
if
I'm
we're gonna,
pissed off about some things.
Yeah, if we're going to write a letter to Ron Moore and Diana Gabaldon and
I mean, I may do the whole blue eyes turning to brown eyes during puberty rant again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because evidently that's what happens in show Outlander verse.
Yeah.
All right.
It is science fiction.
Kiss my ass with the science fiction. Although I will say, listening to TSATs, I know you guys don't listen to TSATs, they've also watched Battlestar Galactica, and everybody loved the first season. Second season had some issues. The third season, they said that's when it got to be bad, and then the season finale, Ron killed the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they said he basically, because he did a jump the shark thing. He evidently used, at the beginning of the season finale, he used All Along the Watchtower in the soundtrack.
Really? And that wasn't...
Or somebody was listening to... No, this took place in space, in the future, or something.
Oh, no.
So, I don't know.
In a different universe, so he used...
Yeah, so basically Lonnie and Alistair said, or Lonnie said, Ron Moore gave the biggest middle finger to the fandom she had ever seen.
Wow.
And so they discussed about whether or not that they would use All Along the Watchtower in the finale of Outlander during the 1968 scenes, because the song came out in 1967 and was a top 20 hit in 1968.
Does he like the song? Is that the joke, or is it just that he would link it to...
I don't watch it, so I'm assuming it had to do with breaking the universe. Maybe somebody was listening to it, and it wasn't just part of the soundtrack. Somebody was listening to it, which...
No, but I mean that is Ron attached to that song or something? I mean, is there beyond the fact of why he used it in Battlestar, is he attached to the song himself?
Well, the ending of Battlestar was a little contentious between Ron and the fanboys.
Ah, okay. So it might have been his FU to the fanboys. We're still live, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We need to shut this off.
No, I just thought it was an interesting thing that if they're driving along and that song happens to play on the radio that Roger's listening to,
that's funny.
that they could see it being kind of a Ron doing a whole...
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll end this and we'll see.
What?
So,
there
bye,
is
guys.
a recording. There's Bear McCreary